All right, I am live. It is later than I would normally be live, and we have no one in yet, but I know you'll be in a bit. So let's see, a couple things, just some housekeeping stuff. Only my two boys are here right now, but the house has been packed. This house has been, which is fine. My wife has a very large family. 11 siblings, so then most of their spouses, when that's correct, and then her father is here. Whew. And 2 right now are staying right here in the house. It was 4. Hello. So there was no way I was doing shows. Nothing like that was going to happen. Heck, I haven't even been able to play games. There's people everywhere. And we've got a big house designed to host people intentionally. So everyone's culminating here as they should. So that explains where I have been. Also, as you can see from the title, I've been on vacation. I was up to, so I went from Kansas, drove through Nebraska, up into South Dakota, took the family in South Dakota. We stayed in Deadwood, actually there for the 4th of July, which was very nice. And then we stayed in an Airbnb and kind of went and saw everything. So Mount Rushmore, it made me feel even more patriotic than I thought. I did not think we would stay there that long. I thought we would hit that and then go hit Crazy Horse, which is like 8-10 times bigger. But they're working on that. And we ended up pretty much most of the day at Mount Rushmore and went to Crazy Horse on another day. So, and then we didn't do any kind of the ATV off-roading nor hiking. So that limited, it was mostly sightseeing. I wanted to see some museums, which I got to see some, but my boys would be bored at museums. So, but that explains, let me back off my lighting here a little bit. That explains a little bit why I haven't had any shows coming up. I still need to do a couple reviews, but now I got to get games back on the table and kind of get them refreshed. So I'll get a few reviews out. Napoleonics I had a great game with Judd. That was awesome. Napoleonics, so that's the Borg system. And we're talking see, I haven't played for a while now. CNC, commands and colors. Whew, look at that. So I need to get a review of that up. And yeah, I know that's been out for a while. Same reason I did an unboxing, though. Some people haven't seen it. It is part of the Borg system. It may be one of the best, but I'm not into the Napoleonic era as much. But the game I played with Judd was awesome. And I was making all kinds of Memoir 44 mistakes. So let's see. Donner Pass Whiskey. All right. Hi, Bart. Hope you're having a good summer. Awesome so far. Nice to have you in, Donner. So I'm just talking about how I'd been on vacation and then got back, jumped right back in, and now we got my wife's family. They've all traveled here for some birthdays and things. So, but they're actually out at a park right now. It's like almost 100 degrees. And I said, I'm going to take a break, maybe film something. Whoop. So let me pull this back off. Where was I? Napoleonics. So CNC, Command and Colors Napoleonics, GMT. It was funny. The error I made with Judd was I thought I could actually, it was a designed, he brought over his Russian expansion. And it was this design scenario where I played the Russians and I had to just do a coordinated, controlled retreat. Get a certain amount of units off the board at a certain area, I would win. Don't lose too many units. Either side loses. And I screwed up and almost threw it right from the get-go. I thought I actually could throw him if I rushed forward on a flank, grabbed some wooded terrain, and then could hold him. Whew, the woods didn't help me at all. I needed to maintain my line. I quickly recovered and began a shrinking pullback. And it literally came down to the last turn. If he didn't kill me, last roll, if he killed the unit that I knew he was going to come after, he was going to win. And if that unit persevered, I was going to be able to exit the last unit I needed to hit my victory conditions. And he got the unit. I was like, it was awesome, though. So that's how you know when you got a great game, is it was tense the whole way through. That early mistake I made, and then here I am trying to recover and hold. And I'm usually an aggressive player. So me taking the retreating side and then making the mistake of being aggressive up front, big mistake. But I love that I almost pulled off the recovery. And great game. Great game. I want to see if I can get Judd over to play maybe that again, maybe some Samurai. We'll have to see. I know he's traveling as well. So let's see. Got a shirt here. So we got your we got you, or we got your back basically, but it's we got you and then the ID number. So 2526, we had an officer. I won't give out his name, but before I went on vacation, we had an officer, a bunch of officers get into a big shootout. Guy had a rifle, and he managed to get one of our guys in the face. Got him in the jaw, messed up his tongue, almost killed him, but broke one of his legs, got his legs. It was crazy, but he made it. So this shirt is in response to that. No enemies here is here. Where did you go for vacation? South Dakota, Mount Rushmore. That photo is my wife and I at Mount Rushmore. My man, Dan Pancaldi. So that is that. Matter of fact, I don't know if you want to, Danny boy, but I am going to send you an invitation. You don't have to come in if you don't want. You just ignore it if you don't want to come in. And that is fine. But I'm going to send this to you. So again, let me go through the process here. Boom and boom. We'll send that. And if you don't want to, no worries. You just stay and observe. You know I can carry on the chat all by my lonesome. So let's see. We got some eyes in now. So that was the so Napoleonics. I still need to do a review of it. Yes, I want to do a review of it. I know it's been out for a while. Heck, there's like 7 expansions. But what I would eventually like to do is even maybe do a sit down with Judd, and we just talk about all the different versions and what we like about them and what we don't. It was so cool though so here's that Command and Color system. And I think it was definitely my memoir memories, where I wanted to use this unit, or it was 2 units really, to grab some woods and kind of pin in there and maybe separate his troops. And the fact that failed, and I achieved what I wanted to do, and then it failed spectacularly. I mean, they just got, the trees did nothing for them because they were all by themselves. I don't know what I thought. You know, I was parking a tank in there or something, and I was just going to be able to pound away and keep them off my right flank. I think that's what I thought. That was a big error, but the system's so fun, engaged me that whole time. And I can't say it enough. Napoleonics really isn't even my thing. Of course, everybody, or most people know, if you've played Command and Colors, usually, you'll usually have 4 blocks, not always, but if you do, even if you lose them, they maintain their combat strength. Well, here in Napoleonics, as you lose those blocks, you lose your combat strength. Give me 5. Perfect. All right. So Danny Boy will be in 5. I can fill time. So I was curious to see how I was going to like that. I thought it worked just fine. I think the other system works fine. When I first started playing CNC, I actually thought it should work the way Napoleonics is doing it. And then I think it was one of the rule sets Borg flat out says, hey, it's when you kill a block, you're not killing X amount of units. It's just its combat strength. If you wipe out all the blocks, it's just the combat strength has evaporated. It's not like you've killed every single unit. They're just combat ineffective. So I'm piping it. Got it. I thought it was pipping. I was like, I'm pipping it. I thought that was the British Canadian side coming through, Dan. So I see this. Give me 5. I'm pipping it. Better than pimping. Better than pimping it, Danny. But I thought he's pipping it. And I thought, okay, that must be a British thing. Maybe that means he's peeing. I don't know. And then clarification comes. Pipe means pipe. Maybe he's not even watching this. You can have your pipe, I think, while you're on the show. I don't know. Maybe that's not allowed. Maybe they don't like that anymore. So let's see. I was in South Dakota. We'll hit on that for a little bit before you come in. I had 3 people lose. Maybe they didn't like the pipping it. 3 people lose, 3 people leave. Here's the other thing I learned. So I'm 50 now. Drove up there. It's like with a break or 2, lunch, 12-hour drive. 12 hours mostly sitting in the car. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that hardly ever again. So I think I could do 8. After 8, I'm 6'6", 250. I'm getting antsy. Can't just sit in the car. Preferably I'd like to drive, but I don't have a lot of room to move around. Man, I didn't like it at all. And I'd get antsy. So, I'm getting to the point where I can probably, if I'm going to do that, I'm going to drive 6 hours, find a place, stop, stay there, enjoy it, relax, boom, 6 the next day. That would be doable. Anything over 8, not doable. Not doable. If you get a chance. So here was the interesting things. I like museums. I like the history. Mount Rushmore made me, I don't know, I liked it a lot more than I thought I was going to like it. I'm going to blank on the gentleman's name. He's a Polish guy, and the one that worked on Crazy Horse passed away. The story of him is awesome. They need to make a movie if there isn't one out there already. What is Dan Brown saying? Hey, I'm from Pine Ridge, South Dakota. How was the weather? Weather was perfect. So I grew up in Evergreen, Colorado, up in the mountains. And it looked kind of like evergreen, although the trees were all really skinny. I'm used to these big pines. I was like, but the weather was perfect. We caught some rain here or there. Actually, right as we hit our Airbnb, the rain was just deluging on us. Okay, Dan, I can see you, but it's pivoted like way up on the wall, so I can barely see you. If you want to adjust down, and then I'm going to bring you in. Added to the stream, you're in. Hello, how are you?
Not bad. Thanks for having me on.
Are you kidding me?
Where's Judd, man? Judd's not on.
Yeah, no. Judd wanted a break. He had a father-in-law who passed due to COVID. So
bloody hell.
I know, and that's when he got COVID. And he went and visited the hospital, and then he caught COVID. I think I can put that out. I had it. It's not a big secret. And then it took him a while to shake it. He's doing great. That was a long time ago. But so that was that. We were talking to Dan Brown, who is from Pine Ridge, South Dakota. And let's see, I'm from Pine Ridge. How was the weather? It was good. I was in not have a trailer. Not have a trailer. I did not have a trailer, if that's what it means. No. How are you doing, Dan?
I'm doing okay. You're talking about commands and colors, and it's funny, serendipity here, or synchronicity, whatever you want to call it. But I wanted to introduce one of my friends to Command and Colors. And the only Command and Colors I've ever played type was Memoir 44. So,
sure, yeah.
So I don't know, like, what should I start the guy with? Like, what's easy for the guy? We're talking about a non-war game. We're talking about a non-gamer here.
Now, I got to ask you, I'm going to come back to that, but it looks like you're in a lodge. Are you in a lodge? Is this your home in the background? Or do you have
I just made a lot of money. My supporters are great. So I got myself a new home.
Yeah, I love it. I want to go. If that was your real fireplace, I was going to make yet another road trip and head up to Canada. Yeah. Yeah, I was going to just sit by the fire. Actually, I'd wait until it was like December with that fire.
December, eh? You better got snow tires, or maybe you got some chains, man, because I'm telling you.
Yeah, no problem. I grew up in Evergreen, Colorado. I can handle the snow. No problems.
Talking about Colorado.
Yes.
Is Seven Springs in Colorado?
I have no idea. Probably anything with springs in it. There's a good shot.
Okay, so there's something. There's a museum there called Dragon Man. Do you know this guy called Dragon Man in Colorado?
Never heard of Dragon.
You got to check him out, man. I think it's probably the best war museum I've ever seen, man.
Really?
Oh, it's just insane.
Wow. Okay.
But my question, what command and colors should I hit him with?
All right. So my question is always, what's he into, or she?
He's into sailing.
Sailing. Okay. All right. What kind of games? What era? What's his like? I love World War II, so memoir would be perfect.
Right.
The only little turnoff with memoir, I got to admit, didn't take me long, but it has a bigger toy factor because you got the little men.
I know.
I got to admit, I think I like the blocks better.
It's like less fiddly, you know?
Yeah. The fiddle factor goes out. So I don't know. Ancients, I actually think I don't like Ancients as much, but if he loved Ancients, that would be perfect.
He was always saying, because I'm always trying to get him at the war games, like whatever, and he's like, "Do you have anything Ancients?" And of course,
well, he would like that because the leaders are really, really important in that. That's the hard thing with Ancients, actually, is dealing with. And I haven't even played. I don't go back to Ancients much. I have the first one, obviously, and then I forget what I have. Maybe the Spartans or something. But so Ancients, if that theme would grab them, that would be good. Like,
what about ease of play? Remember, first of all, I have to learn it. Then I have to teach you.
Memoir is very easy to learn. You know, the systems. Which one have you played the most of? Memoir?
Yeah.
Memoir is so easy. You know, you just where do they move? What do they do? You know. So
there's no exceptions. There's no like I'm gonna say fate cards or new cards or this or whatever. I know in the samurai, I forget what it's called. Is it Samurai Battles? Right. And they have dragon cards.
Yes.
Where it changes the tactical terrain or whatever. Not terrain, but you know what I'm saying, Bart.
Sure. Memoir 44 is embarrassing. I don't think
but how are you going to get some guy into a game? If it's got to be easy, man. If he's into World War II and he he likes to do nothing and he's not into gaming, Memoir 44, I guess, would be it. But like I said, the little toy factor thing, it childish. Just it makes it,
It does. It does. The toy factor's there. If he likes Ancients, you're gonna have to go with Ancients. You just got to learn whatever, which the base one, and get your leaders down. It's a little, for me, they're not, none of them are really complex, but it's a little more. Whenever I pull it out, I got to like rewrap my head around, kind of what are these guys doing now?
Okay.
You got to hold your line. You don't want your line broken there, which is exactly how it should be. Napoleonics is actually really, really fun. It was
really, eh?
Yeah, it was. Judd came over because I just gotten it, and he brought over the Russian. He wanted to play a particular mission. I don't know what they call it. Particular scenario. He liked it. Was the perfect choice. It was awesome. They all do well. So, but Ancients is solid. And there's 7 expansions, 6, can't remember. And
it's funny though, Chief. Judd, being the grognard that he is, isn't that like a wicked step down in you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
But see, that's where it's not. So it's so easy the barrier to entry is not hard. The only thing that gets me nowadays, and I screwed it up in my samurai video, is the little exceptions between this game and that game, like Napoleonics. If you lose a unit, you go down to 3. You actually can't roll as much dice. But the other ones, it doesn't matter how many units. So some people don't like that. Well, there's these little changes, and I need cheat sheets, and I got to have them there because I'll be like, yeah, that's it, and then no, that's not the way that goes, or So I've got so many that they've got they're perfect though, because these little tweaks make it feel like what it is.
Right.
So that's what I like. But so you don't have all this rules complexity. What you like in my deal, I was playing the Russians. I had to get so many units retreated off between 2 hex areas in a certain amount of time. He had to kill a certain amount, or I could kill a certain amount of his. And your movement's all right there. You can see what you're doing. And it was tense the whole time through. So I don't like Command and Colors never plays you play it.
Okay, so I mean, because you said, I know that in Memoir 44, if you lose 3 units, it's still the same strength.
Right. Yeah. And so some people don't like that because it feels like they should be taking a hit, but it's this idea. I mean, it's more like combat effectiveness. It's not like when you kill a unit, you've killed 25% of, when you kill 1 block, you haven't killed 25%. It's not like that armor unit was 4 tanks and it's a task force and you killed the tank. It's more like you've done some damage, or they're a little ineffective, or so it's got that, it's a little more ethereal, I think.
So in the other Command and Colors, in some of them, because I don't know them very well, if you lose a unit, you actually lose strength.
Yeah, Napoleonics, you lose strength, you lose combat strength.
Okay, so it's like having the blocks with the pips on it. You just turn it over, turn it over, turn it over.
Yeah. Wow. And that was no, I'm with you. Yeah, it's kind of like a block game where you're stepping down.
Exactly.
Yeah. No. Yeah, definitely. Because it was, and I knew I was looking forward to that, and I was thinking, what's this going to be like? And then Judd came over, and I know he can use that. Borg can use that, and then sometimes he doesn't. And I like what he does with it. Like I said, my only problem is I'm getting so dang old. I got to have that big old, I got to have that cheat sheet right here, and I got to keep looking at it going, yeah, that's right. I lose strength now,
Well, I have 2 questions. One, talking about Judd, because Judd he's very, very knowledgeable about gaming, and he's very knowledgeable. And is he getting more simple gaming, or is he still gaming heavy?
I'd probably have to let him. I don't know where he's at now. So I think, because he does tons of vassal play.
I know.
He still likes, well, I don't know. I think he's still doing a lot of heavies. He plays them solo a lot, but I don't know. I'd have to let you ask him. But that's the cool thing with Commands and Colors is it's not heavy, and you got to have your little cards there to look at or I do, to remind me of, hey, what's different in this version. And then once you get that version, what I like to do is, if I've got, let's just say I got Memoir up, I can't stand setting it up for one game and then tearing it down.
I know. But isn't it the same? Isn't it the same for other Command and Colors?
Yeah. They're all that one. The toys probably add a little more factor to it. Even the blocks. Now, Judd gave me a tip. You put heavy cavalry all in the same bag. So if you're not, it doesn't matter if you're British or French. There's your heavy cavalry.
Right. Good. Yep. Okay.
Yeah. So that makes that quicker. And then, hey, how many do I need? This many. Great. I need light infantry. They're all in the same bag. You're not, because it's actually a lot harder when you've got all the blue. If I think I made the mistake once I had all the infantry and I'm sorting through, God dang it, I can't find the light versus the heavy. So that was a good tip. Blame Judd. He isn't there to defend himself. Yes, that's right.
And my second question, Chief, is when you said Richard Borg tweaks this and that, is it actually him tweaking per game, or is it someone in the background using his system, developing like Samurai or Napoleonics? Is it Borg really doing all this?
I want to get him on the show, do an interview with him. I haven't reached out yet. I heard he's kind of a little more shy. That may or may not be true. I don't know. But yeah, I hear it's him. I've read a lot of his stuff that he'll put out. He'll have an idea and, Red Alert, the space game, and he'll throw in a bunch of ideas, and this is the tweak. This is how I'll do that. By the way, I love Red Alert. My son loves Red Alert. That's probably his favorite. And it's toy factor too. Yeah. All these ships, and you're in each other's face real quick, and it's just it can shift, and the cards in that are just awesome.
So this guy's a war gamer, Richard Borg, man.
Well, yeah. Now don't forget, someone just recently was thinking Borg, because
Borg.
Yeah. So you got it. Sometimes every once in a while, but I knew you knew. Yeah. I mean, he's got a system. And I think there's a lot to the system, because in my opinion, it hasn't weakened it with all these different versions.
No.
It's strengthened what he's doing. Because originally I wasn't interested in I never thought I would even want the Napoleonics.
That's what I'm saying, man. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. And then as I was doing it and talking to Judd, because Judd grabbed it just to say, hey, everything works so well, and he kind of knew how it worked. He was like, let me see if this will sucked me into that Napoleonic era, and it did. And then he wanted more in different types and things of that nature. So that's what I'm saying, though. I think even as I get older, even when I set up Red Alert, my boy will say, hey, let's play. And I'll say, all right. And then I'm going to leave it up. And sometimes we'll play 2 back to back, but I'll just leave it up downstairs. I'm looking over at the table it's usually at.
But it's a huge map, man.
Yeah, it is. But I got a big table for it. So that was perfect. But then once it's set up, he'll be like, hey, let's play. I'm like, yeah, we only got 20 minutes. We won't finish one, but let's start it, see what's going on. And then it works perfect. Because then, I'll come home and he'll be like, man, can't believe you got my dreadnought or my battleship or whatever. And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, what, are you going to quit? He's like, no, I'm not going to quit, So, but I can tell and then sometimes he'll bring it back, and it's push and tug and pull.
That's cool.
Yeah. So, and I was really hoping he would do a space thing, but here's the downer. It did not sell that well for Plastic Soldier Company, PSC. It did okay. The Kickstarter did all right, but there were plans from Borg to have 2 different alien races. So in Red Alert, you're different Earthmen basically that have gone out. Now you're fighting or whatever. But there was going to be these totally different alien races. One was going to be like a prequel. The other one was going to be this new overpowering kind of thing. Then he was going to have these space or fleet marines, and there was going to be stuff where you might have to go, almost like island hopping, hit a planet, get your marines on there. You might be battling aliens on a planet. That'd be more of a ground type thing. I don't know how he was going to do all that.
Man, it almost sounds like Space Empires 4X.
Yeah, I don't know how he planned, but that kind of all got shelved. And and that's kind of like Gettysburg, his Civil War version. Oh my goodness, how am I forgetting the name of it?
Of Commands and Colors?
Yeah. His very first one was the Civil War.
Oh, Battle Cry.
Yes. So Battle Cry. And, that they had the anniversary edition, which I have, but, and I know you can do a lot with it, but it just felt like there could be, you could have had more coming in and stuff, but there's still tons of scenarios and stuff. So, but this Red Alert deal, that downed me a little bit, because I was like, man, I want this asynchronous play, a whole different deck of aliens doing freaky stuff, hitting a planet, trying to hold the planet with fleet marines or something. And actually, as I played it, and then I read some stuff on it later, it felt sometimes a little bit like World War II Pacific with these with these, these units coming in and the way you send out your long range fighters and stuff like that. It had a little feel to it. And I could see that maybe he'd, borrowed something from that never, I don't know. So yeah.
Yeah, no, that's too bad. What do you, if you would have, I know, look, Plastic Soldier companies probably got more reach than GMT, but I'm assuming that if you would have put it on GMT, he would have sold more.
Yeah, it makes me wonder, because I mean, so far everything GMT's gotten a hold of is just,
done very well. Yeah.
Right now they're doing medieval. And the very first medieval game picks up right what, the beginning part of the medieval period. And then they realized, hey, they're going to jump it forward for the next one. So it's going to actually be, I don't know if they're into Agincourt or anything, but it'll be the knights and the armor and, stuff like that. You're going to have all those. So let me see what some people are saying here. So Vorpal's all over this now. Miniature games or war games too. You bet. Sure. War games are cool. Where is Greg? Greg hasn't been doing a ham tag for years, and that's fine. Anytime Greg wants to come on, he can come on. Greg's got a depth of knowledge, but he said he doesn't buy go through he doesn't churn games.
Right.
He'll play. He's still playing. He's a master of ASL. I mean, he'll play and just he goes deep.
Oh, so he's really big time into ASL, eh?
Huge. He wrote. He showed me once. I think in '86 or something. I was 16, but he wrote an article in the General about ASL.
Okay.
So he retired after 37 years. He was a Boeing engineer. But yep. I know Vorpal likes his Vietnam stuff. Miniatures games table last week. Battle of Daidu Village, 1968. Cool. He's got his Hueys there. Yeah. So what I like about, and I don't know, I've always been the lighter gamer anyway. So the Borg system's nice, and all you got to do is learn the exceptions. Now, I get befuddled now, though. That's the only thing I'm saying. There's so many, I can't remember which exceptions with which game. But that's all right. You're right, though. That's an interesting point. GMT, so they nailed Ancients, and a big seller for them, and they've got 6 or 7 expansions for it. Then they do what else do they have?
Napoleonic. Napoleonic Samurai.
Samurai just came out. They re-picked that up. Maybe that's the only 3 they have. Is that the only 3 they have? Yeah,
I don't think so. There's got to be something else.
Well, now they've done medieval. So they've got the medieval period now that they're going to be handling. That'll be great. The Samurai is going to be great because you could see them coming out with some North Korea with Korean troops from when Japan invades, or some of the battles with China. That would be neat. PSC did World War I.
Yeah,
and they did Red Alert. They kind of withered. They had those great tank expansions. They got the French troops in there. But I think they had thought about doing many more of the different, factions of World War I. That didn't come about. But their tanks are gorgeous.
I mean, I have them. I don't know where they are, but I have them.
Yeah. Yep. Gorgeous. I mean, and he did such a good job with trench warfare. I think that was the first game I played with Bo. And so that system's great. I just, Memoir was Days of Wonder. So Memoir, that was a huge one for them, and tons of expansions. I know it was Fantasy Flight, but it was Days of Wonder. Battle Lore, which was their fantasy / 100 Years War. And then Fantasy Flight picked it up and redid it. And Battle Lore with their fantasy stuff was fun. That was my first intro.
So what happened? Fantasy Flight, what's going on? They're not on the board anymore.
No. So, well, you know what? They sold Asmodee. So
who bought Asmodee?
Yeah, well, that conglomerate. I can't remember their name. And then that conglomerate even sold to another conglomerate.
Is that conglomerate called Uwe Eichert?
If it is, you won't know about it. So, oh man, how about Uwe with his Kickstarter, man?
Man, he's laughing all the way to whatever bank he goes to.
Well, that's his good tie-in though. He gets this, video game company to reach out and say, hey, we like what you've been doing, and what are your ideas on this? And then you're capturing both the board game side and the video game side. And let's be honest, the video game side is way bigger. It's just huge. You got your war gamers, which are great, and your board gamers, which are awesome. But then you add in all the video games and the 4X. He and his son,
Gunther.
Yep, Gunther. I think it'll be pulled off perfectly. I'm looking forward to it. I know that's he said it was 2 years of work before they even
Bloody hell.
Yeah. And because I'll run it. I still love Conflict of Heroes, but Uwe would put out like, hey, we're going to do this 82nd Airborne 101st thing. Yeah. And it'll be out. It's almost ready. And then, and then people are like, hey, that was 8 years ago. What the hell?
Yeah, I know.
Because they get excited. It's like dad saying he's going to get you that thing for Christmas. And it's 8 Christmases later. You're like, yeah, I don't need a bike anymore. Okay. I want a car. I want a car now.
Yeah. Well, Uwe's a perfectionist, man. If he gets the map and there's just the cow is out of place, bring it back.
Yeah. Well, but then you get this company that says, hey, we want to do this.
Yeah.
And that's got to be something where I bet you they've got some money coming into the thing, and who knows? What is this here? Bart is the best. First of all, that's all Bart needs to say right there. That's going to get him highlighted. But don't talk about video games, miniatures, or CNC. Yeah, there you go.
What's wrong with Command and Colors? I'm going to say I want to learn this system. I think I know the system a bit, but I want to get in depth to the different tweaks that they have per system, which is really cool.
Yeah. Hey, Kabuki Kid is in. Hey, what is up, Kabuki? Bart and Dan. Yeah, I actually like all of it. It's funny because I picked up some kind of I don't know what it was. It was like a future Sim City, but I was doing power plants on some terraform planet. It was on the PS3, and I got to watch the video games because like my boy came down. I'm like, hey, I'm going to play this for an hour. 2 hours later, he's like, hey, Dad, I got a homework question. I'm like, hey, sit down. I'm trying to optimize my power plant. Don't be, and he was like, oh my God. And then I was like, man, I had to turn it off. I was like, man, that's it. I got to, not until I retire can I go back to video gaming. So
I'm wondering if Uwe's ever going to pick up a Command and Colors, man.
Oh, I doubt it. I think he's got, so here's his deal. Conflict of Heroes. So he's working on this. He's getting ready, but then you get a deal like this. They go all in on it because they're just small. Yeah, they're a small deal. Everything gets kind of held, and then off they go. But, it pays off with the huge Kickstarter.
Yeah, business is business. And Uwe's a businessman. And so, and I appreciate that from him, by the way.
Yeah. And then I had a guy get a hold of me because he was pissed. He sent me a message or an email or something. He said he didn't like how there was 3 editions, of Awakening the Bear. And now that third one's got the die, and now all the stuff he has doesn't work. I said, no, that's not what it does. You can keep the die. I tried the die. I played several games with a wargaming buddy of mine. That die is good to put Fog of War on me and you, because I don't know if this guy can get across the open terrain or what. He may run forever and get to shoot, or I may move him one and he's done. But my favorite, which I've used from the very beginning, is not this 7 APs with your command. I like rolling 3 dice in a cup, and then boom, and you means test it. So the high and the low, that's your roll, and then you count your APs up so your opponent doesn't know how many you've got, but you do.
Fog of War, man.
Yep, Fog of War on them, but I know my guy got a terrible roll. but I may be able to fake it. So he's thinking, oh man, but I know I'm about done, but maybe he does something different. Right. Now the die in that third edition, now we both have Fog of War. I didn't enjoy that as much. It felt like I had to not only do tactical decisions, but I had to do tactical inside tactical, because all of a sudden I'm moving this guy and it's like he freezes in open ground or something, which is good. I mean, I'm right. Because if you roll it, that little die can say they're spent. You can't move them anymore. You roll to see, I forget the whole thing. You roll to see how many APs, and then you got to get below that and everything. Really simple, but you could get an unlucky roll and they're done. And you were trying to move through open territory and they don't get to cover. So
do you have to move?
No, it's just whatever unit you picked. So because you activate a unit and then you start moving it, but then you roll a die to see if they're spent or not.
Oh, I remember. Yes.
Yeah, and what I told this guy is you don't have to use that. I actually don't use that die. I tried it, played like 3 games that way. And then I went back to rolling in a cup and counting the APs up.
Right.
So, yeah. I said nothing else has changed really. I mean, there might be a couple little tweaks, and then the first edition had the older maps. So you can't really mix and match the first with the second, third. But second, third, it doesn't matter. So, but yeah, that got a lot of people mad because they get excited and then nothing. So, because what he had 1940, which is of course Germany pushing into France and Belgium and all that kind of stuff. That was almost ready to go. And then he had the D-Day drop, the paratroop drop. That was almost ready to go. So,
well, we're going to get all that soon.
Probably, yeah. We'll see. I mean, you know what his priority is now, though.
Kickstarter. It's buying those cash machines so we can.
That's got to be a lot of stress, though. Look at what this COVID thing did with shipping.
Yeah, man. I mean, David Heath was just talking about that, and it's like it's killing a lot of the sales. A lot.
Oh my God. I mean, so all that lag, I mean, you can see GMT, they had a huge queue of stuff and you can't get a container in China. Since it's communist, they say, hey, we're using too much energy. We're shutting the factory down Tuesday. Well, guess what? They're not printing anything Tuesday.
That's right.
Yeah. So, I mean, everything. And then there's a backlog on paper. Where you're going to get your paper. If you can't get the paper in, you're not going to get the thing going, So, it's going to take a while to roll through that backlog.
Yeah.
It was actually interesting. I mean, I feel like I'm playing Kanban. Remember Kanban? Did you ever play that? It's a heavy Euro. I can't remember the designer. You're basically trying to get ships through, is it through the Panama Canal? I can't remember. There's a way you load ships and move them through, and it's a heavy Euro.
Was Noriega still around?
Well, I'll tell you, all I know is Greg Schmidtkins was smoking everybody at that game.
But Greg, talking about Greg, does he give any quarter to anybody, or he just goes in and that's it?
No, he's a very good teacher. So he'll sit and teach you a game. He's a very, very efficient and good teacher. He does on BGG, all these 1-page rules.
Yep.
Yeah. So he's very good at that. So that's where he's really good. He's good at that. But then if you go in and play, he's very, very good. He's very good. But he plays everything. He plays Euros. Matter of fact, Martin Wallace, Automobile.
Yeah.
He is so good at that. I was playing a game once and I was trying a different strategy. That's a very good game. And great to play with him because he'll tell you, like, you'll get to do something. He'll be like, hey, you got a 1 in 18 chance at that. And I'm like, oh, God. Yeah. He'll watch this and go, what do you mean? There ain't no 1 in 18 chance. I'm like, I can't remember what you do. Okay. You do amazing stuff. But when you play with him, it's really cool. But I was watching him, and have you ever played Automobile?
No, but he's told me about it. I know he's a big fan.
Oh yeah. Well, you open these factories, and then of course the years go by. So you have this option to open more, but there's 3 different kinds: the economy, the mid-level, and then like the fancy Rolls Royce, whatever the heck. But you usually want to shut down an old factory because you'll start taking loss cubes. It's an old style. It's not efficient. Then you got to sell the cars and all this stuff. Yeah.
Vital La Creda.
There you go. See? Kanban.
Or La Cerda. Sorry.
La Cerda. There you go. Well, long story short, automobile, I notice that Greg's keeping this. He's taking loss cubes like nobody's business, and he won't shut down this other factory. And I'm sitting there because I know I'm like going to be middle of the pack here, but I'm like, what's he doing? I'm thinking, because once I realized I can't win, I thought he's doing something weird here. I'm going to watch this. And what he was doing, because you can pick up Ford or something and you can dump half your loss cubes. So he was intentionally prolonging it, and he just kept going. And people were telling him, you should get rid of that. You should close that. And he's like, yeah, I'm thinking about it. And he just kept it open the whole time. And I saw what he did, and then I figured it out. And the next time I played, I when he wasn't in the game, I'm using the Greg strategy because I saw I can't even remember what he did. Oh, I smoked him. Yeah. He came over and he looked. And this is what he does. He looked, and then he caught my eye and he smiled. And I was like, man. He knows I'm using his technique.
That's great.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
I couldn't even pull it off now, but he literally looked, and then he realized, and people were mocking me like, oh, you're going to be terrible. You got to close that old plant down. I'm like, yeah, I'm confused. I don't know what I'm doing. And they're like, you played this a lot. I'm like, yeah, well, I like that. I like that plant. My cousin Vinny runs that plant. I got to keep it open.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious, man.
Great game. And yeah, so I think that was one of the ones he made his first one sheet for or something even. So,
man, I met Greg once at WBC, and he's so approachable. He looks like an intimidating guy. He's tall. He's got his beef jerky in his buttons.
Yeah.
But he's super approachable. The guy.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's it. He gives out these beef jerky to everybody. He makes custom-made buttons for whatever's going on at the con. Yeah. So, I mean, he's got his own following. He's been going for years. So, he's got I think he told me he's got a schedule, and he'll play. He'll get 6 or 7 different types of games in a week. Like if you lived here, it would be Pancaldi Thursday. You two are going to be doing Pancaldi Thursday, and you're going to be playing. You're going to learn Napoleonics, and you two are going to do that. And that's going to be what you're going to do for a month, and then you'll figure out if you want to do memoir.
Hey, talking about cons. What's the chances of you going to WBC?
I've been there once. I liked it. Now they're up in that lodge, so that's cool. The next one I want to go to is Con Sim World down in Dallas.
And not in Arizona. Not in Arizona.
Dallas is 6 hours south of me, so I'll probably just hit that one first, and just pop on down to that. It's a straight flight. But I think I'll do that one. I like that little lodge up there. Now that my first and only WBC, luckily my wife, we were in Lancaster. I forget what year it was. We didn't have kids yet. And my wife has a cousin that lived in Lancaster, and she has a sister and brother-in-law who are here now, by the way. We got 10 family members all over, but they're in Philly. It was hilarious, though, because they come up to meet her, and she liked to play. She just wants to play a few Euros.
Right.
We did get in trouble in one of the open gaming rooms because she didn't want to buy a wristband. She's not going to go play any of these war games. She just wanted to pop in and play Ticket to Ride with me or something, but she didn't have a wristband, and they came in, and they were like, hey, you got to go. I was like, come on, man. I mean, she's not playing the war game stuff. She just, but whatever, you got to follow the rules.
Yeah.
But the funny thing was, so I'd been playing the big B-17 thing they do there. That's fun, where you play 3 missions. It's an all-day thing.
At WBC?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I've been there once only, and I didn't see that.
Oh, it's huge, man. So what they do is they even have a beer stein, and it's from that old 12 o'clock high, because, you know, when they were going to have a mission the next day, they'd go turn that guy around and everybody'd have to quit drinking. So you go in and they brief you, and you're going to fly 3 missions, and you would sit across the table from me and you would do my roles or whatever, and I'm doing some of your roles, but we're flying our own plane, but we're all on the same mission together. So I was in there, there's 36 guys. So we got a flight of 36 planes. You're given your assignment. You go fly your deal, and they're handing out medals, you know, I mean, so, and then, it was awesome. They do a post briefing, you know, on what went on. That was awesome.
Wow.
That was good. But I'd run into this guy a couple times. He was walking around. Now, he was walking around with these like patent red Air Jordans. Had to cost like $500, but he had the tube socks up almost to his knees. Yeah. These are our people right here. You know this. Then he's wearing like tennis shorts from the 70s.
Stop it.
No, we're not done yet. Now you got to paint the picture. Then he's got some kind of shirt on, and it's, you know, whatever. And then he's got a sweatband. He's wearing a sweatband on his head. But he couldn't really make eye contact with you. But I'd seen him sit down at a game, and they explained him the rules, and he read the book, and he was like going at it. So I was watching him, and a guy walked up and said, "You know who that is?" I said, "No, I don't." They said, "He's a genius. He works for JPL, Jet Propulsion Laboratories." And he's got like a handler though, because like he'll go build a jet engine for you, but he'll forget to go eat. I mean, he's just so dialed in. You know, he's so dialed in that he could build he'll figure out your problem, but you better tell him, "Hey, it's time to go home."
Oh, man.
I'm not making fun of the guy, because
I know what you're saying.
Yeah, he's a genius, but it was one of those deals where the gift that you're given in one area, you know, it's kind of pulled away from another.
You know what I mean?
But my wife's family comes in, and I can tell her sister's looking at him like, "What is this? What are we doing here?" And then, you know, our people anyway, there's a guy, you know, with a backpack. There's a couple more headbands, and they're like, "Is this a tennis? Is this a tennis thing they're doing?" I'm like, "No, those are sweatbands, because it gets hot when you're in the game room. You might be playing,
come on.
You're playing Napoleonics, and you just put a move on me, and I got to catch that trickle of sweat."
You know, it makes me think once I went to a convention as a musician, and I was speaking to the guy, believe it or not, the guy who invented synthesizers. And it's not Robert Moog, it's Buchla. Anyways, I was talking to his assistant. I just said hi. And this guy's a genius, okay? And he starts talking to me, man. And I have no idea what he's talking about. Like none. And I stop the guy and I tell him, "Hey, man, I don't understand what you're saying." He just turns around and walks away.
Yeah. Bye. Right. That's it. And that'll be some war gamers too, because there's some folks, you know, I'm like, "Man, I'm a little dumb. I'm a little dumb here." And some will start, I'm with you with a couple terms, you know. I know this is a CDG. This is a car-driven game. This is a CDG. And I'm like, "Yep." And then they'll be like, "But you got to come back with this flim flam and the thing." I'm like, "Oh God, I don't know what he's even talking about now." Okay, wait, I picked up geomorphic boards. I know what that is.
Oh man.
Yeah, but then it'll move, and I'm like, "Wow." So, and I'm like, I'm a light gamer.
For sure. Same with me.
Yeah. Hold on, we got a scientist here. Derek Leaders, and being a scientist allowed me to keep a game set up in my office to play at lunch. Love that. No, that is good. So that's what I do love about the cons is you're definitely around your people. You're just around your people, and I love it.
I wonder if they look at us as we're weird.
Oh, oh, you of course. Look at me. I'm 6'6", wearing a funky hat. I mean, what's going on with me? but we kind of fit in there. That's the whole point, though.
Yep.
Like I said, I can't afford it. As soon as I saw the guy's patent leather Air Jordans, I'm like, those are like $500 Jordans. What's he doing walking around at the con with them? I know, because the guys I know that are like, they got a nickname. Their as many board games as I have, they have shoes.
Well,
but they put they put the shoes up on the shelf. They don't wear the shoes. Yeah. And these Jordans would be on a shelf somewhere, but of course he's wearing them.
You know, Chief, I was with my brother-in-law a few years ago, and we're shopping at Walmart. And at Walmart, you get some pretty different people, I'm going to say, you know? And I'm saying, man, look at these weirdos, this and that at Walmart. And he says, what the hell are we doing here? Like, we're just as weird.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, no, I know. So that's why, I point at myself. Trust me, there's not a lot of cops that are spending times at a week-long board game convention, and I double down. I'm like, I love it.
No, it's great. It's great. I love it. I hope WBC happens next year, and I want to go back, because going to Arizona, first of all, the heat, forget it. And going to Dallas, forget it. I'd rather it's as far as Italy. Dallas from me.
Wow.
You know?
Really?
Well, I don't know. I just took a shot.
Oh, you're probably close. You know what? Ricardo, oh shoot. What's Ricardo's name? I had him live.
Ricardo Mazzini.
Yes, Mazzini. Man, he's like, you've got to come to Rome. We'll have some coffee. I'm like, I gotta do this.
Oh man. Oh, I'd love that. That.
And see, you'd sit down right away and just, once again, I'd pull out a sweatband. He'd be like, yes, the sweatband. He'd say, what's sweatband in Italian? Give me that. What would that be?
I have no idea.
Come on, what is sweat?
I have to think, and right now it's a bad time to think.
Okay. I would love for you to yell out, Cadalve, or whatever.
Oh, man.
Something. So, but no, that's the whole point. That's what I love about it. I have an outstanding warrant on me. Look at this. Barton wants me to come get him. I don't care. Unless you put on a sweatband. So, but that's what I love. Half of it is looking around.
Yeah.
I'm a watcher, and I'll go, look at this. These are, we got all kinds of different folks here, but these are my people.
These are our people, man. And because, at Consim, is there as many different type of people as there are at WBC, or no?
I've not gone to Consim yet.
Okay.
Before I want to do it. I've done mostly a lot of BGG, because that was in Dallas as well. And BGG, I like all the Euros. My wife likes the Euros, but the Wargamers got a little room or a hallway or something.
Wow.
So you would have them down in the hallway, and they could set up their games and stuff.
So why are we separate? When I say we Wargamers, why do they separate us?
No, the Wargamers asked for this, because I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
Yeah, because first of all, you can see your Wargamers, because guess what they're carrying in? Plexi. Yeah, I saw a guy wandering through with 2 big sheets of plexi. I'm like, I like it. I was yelling stuff out here. I'm like, what? What are you, Triumph of Heroes, or what are you doing? Napoleon. and he was like, plexi. And he's got his plexi. That's a war game. You can spot the wargamer coming through with his own plexi.
Stop.
But that's what I like. And then they get their area down there. Now they had like party games like coming into their room though, and these guys are trying to, they're taking over Rome or something, and all of a sudden somebody's playing Secret Hitler. That did not go well. The wargamers are like, we cannot think over here, and they're like, are you Hitler? Are you Hitler? Yeah, so they had to like, hey, you guys aren't supposed to be in here. This is a wargamers room. I think somebody thought, well, it's Hitler. That's got to be World War II-ish,
Yeah.
But yeah, Plexi Warriors. I love I've got Plexi. I love Plexi.
Yeah. You know what? I prefer mounted boards. That's all.
I do. I like mounted boards, but sometimes I love that plexi just because it just feels slick.
That's too glary, man.
Yes, it does get glare. If you've
You
got,
know?
yeah. If you've got, but if you're in a big room, the glare doesn't get you. No, I know. I like a lot of, lately my wife and I have just been tearing up Above and Below. It's not a war game. That is the, he's the artist. He makes the game. He designs the game. He does the art. He writes the stories. His wife does the music. I'm blanking on his name. Oh yeah. Someone will throw it in here. He just did, oh, come on. I almost had the name of his company. Something. It'll come to me. Above and Below was his first game. And Ryan Lockett. Yes. Ryan Lockett. Yes.
I never heard.
Oh, the guy's genius. He's like in Utah. And I mean, if you watch the credits of his, like Kickstarter movie, it'll be like my wife was playing cello. I mean, it's like you. It's you. They're just creating stuff. Yeah. And then I'm like, how do you have the company? You design the game, you do the art, you then do the music and the script for your Kickstarter, then you're the developer. He's everything. Red Raven.
You think he's got control issues?
Well, I know. I think it's the reverse. I think he's one of these like if I have to tell you what I'm going to make, it'll take longer than if I make it. Yeah, it's that guy. Like you. So for the people here, you got to see this. I sometimes, so I'll tell these stories and stuff, and I'll share a story maybe a little bit later that'll just kill you, Danny.
Really?
Yeah. But I'll get these ideas. I'll be like, this would be a very cool, so Toby Keith, every once in a while, he'll put out what he calls his traveling songs or whatever. They're done with a show and they just have a funny thought. And they kick it around and stuff. But I don't know music. I never could discipline myself. And then
didn't you do that naked thing?
Yes. Yeah. See, but they don't know what you're talking about. Now they think I'm naked or something. They don't know what you just said there.
You don't grab a guy who's naked as a cop. I don't know what.
It's called That Story, which has been on this show. You never win a fight with a naked man. Right. And that's where I'm telling you, I'm going to have, so we've got a couple cops. One's retired now. He was a singer. He's a singer in a band, and they're going to come over and we're going to try to put lyrics. Well, I've got lyrics. They're going to try to put music to that story, and we're going to try to create that story. But, yeah, you never want to fight with a naked guy. I just had me and a buddy of mine we were at work and we went to a nice restaurant, and the lady comes over, our waitress comes over, and she says, "You guys must have great stories." And that's my go-to because it's perfect. I said, "Yeah, I can tell you this: you never win a fight with a naked guy." And she's like, "You got to tell me. You got to tell me that story." The whole idea of a big dude buck naked in traffic and you get there and he's still there and people honking and like pointing him out to you. Yeah, I see him. I see the naked guy. But you don't fight a naked guy by yourself. Matter of fact, you don't fight him at all. All I did was finally say, "Hey, I got some water." And he said, "My skin's on fire." I said, "It sounds like you need some refreshing agua. Come on over here. We're going to get you to the hospital." Slathered in baby oil. There was
come on.
No, that's what Kabuki Kid said. There was no need for Kabuki. He was drenched. He was like soaked. He was slippery. Look at that. You thought I said that. Greased up naked guy. He's just slippery.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
Yeah, he had smoked, I think he said wet, which is a blunt, which is a marijuana cigar dipped in formaldehyde.
Oh, who thinks of this? What's next? Put your head in a microwave.
Sure. Yeah, I don't know. And well, it had oddly enough, you end up slippery and naked. We couldn't even find his clothes. I'm like, where are your clothes? I don't know. Good.
Wow.
Yeah. Nope.
I mean, I did some stuff in the 70s, but I never did formaldehyde.
Look at this, Barton. Look, if someone else doesn't talk, I'm going to keep chatting. I effing love these guys. Well, that's what I said. Dan was like, we should do a little show with pipes and board games. Like, I don't smoke. There ain't no smoking. I'm not doing any pipes. And you were like, come on. I'm like, Dan, you and I can come on and tell stories. When you were talking your music stories being in an orchestra, that was crazy. That was wild. I always thought the orchestra guys were just like everybody was waiting their turn to practice the flute.
No. And if you think rock and roll guys party, there's 4 guys in the band. In an orchestra, there's 100. So it's party time.
See, I'm like, yeah, you guys, there's no way you party as much as Motley Crue. You're like, no, there's only 4. There's only 4 of them.
There's a Pee-wee's Motley Crue. Come on.
I know you had stories. I'm like, right there. See, we sit down, we tell those stories, and we just kill it. We just kill it.
Chief, I have to go.
Isn't that PCP? You have to go. What?
Yeah, it's 6 o'clock now. My wife's been waiting to eat.
Oh, well, yeah. You don't want to. When they call it wet, let me answer this question real quick. It's not PCP. It's literally formaldehyde.
God, man.
But maybe the rules differ where you're from, Kabuki Kid, because it's all slang.
Well, Chief, are you watching anything on Netflix right now?
You know what we were watching? Heist.
Oh, you thought the Spanish thing?
No. They've got like 3 different heists, and they're very good. They're 2 parts. The first hour is all about how they pull off this heist. One of them is a gal who's like a young gal, Native American, kind of gets linked up with this shady character, and they end up stealing a money truck, whatever. Another one of these Cubans, and I got this Cuban buddy of mine. I told him, man, you look like Pinky. You look like Pinky the Cuban, dude. They pull off this $7 million heist or whatever, and then the second half is always how they get caught.
And it's on Netflix right now.
Yeah. Look up Heist, because I knew about the third one. The third one is the whiskey theft. They call it it's like Pappy Gate. It's Buffalo Trace. These guys were stealing barrels and stuff.
But Pappy, the Van Winkle, it's been stolen. Some guys ripped off like a hell of a lot of bottles.
Yeah, that was it. Because the bottles, the 20-year-old Pappy was going for like $1,000 a bottle.
And let me ask, have you tried it?
Not the 20. I had like the 15 Pappy. I mean, so Pappy 15, 20 years ago was going for $35. I know. It's good, but it's not
$1,000 good, eh?
No, it's not even $100 good.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but I mean, bourbon, you can get a great bourbon
for $50.
Sure. Yeah, the Wild Turkey Rare Breed is $55. It's unbelievable. So, I mean, it's whatever you want to pay for it, but I mean, if you're a multimillionaire, you can get you some Pappy, and
I'd rather spend $1,000 on some single malt that's unattainable. And I'm sure for $1,000 you get a good single malt.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I would rather drop it on a big Kickstarter with a lot of minis. See, I know that's the deal. I got both. All right, you got to go eat.
Hey, thanks, Chief. This is a lot of fun. You kill me, okay?
Oh no.
It reminds me. This is who you are for me. Jack Benny. Jack Benny was coming down the stairs, and there was who's the older man smoking cigars there? Him and his wife. They used to do a show. He died. He was 90, almost 100 years old. He's always surrounded by beautiful women. He smokes
George Burns.
George Burns, yeah, I guess.
I think so.
And he saw what's his name? Benny. I forget his name. I just mentioned him.
Jack Benny
coming down the stairs, and George Burns says, "Hold on, I gotta lie down because I'm gonna die of laughter, and I don't want to hit my head, so I gotta lie down."
See, that's perfect. This is what I'm saying. Though. We come on, we do a show, we just get a topic, we run. That's what we call it the Danny and Chief show.
I just heard a voice. I gotta go.
Go on.
Thanks, man.
See you later. Thank you for popping in.
Anytime.
All right. See you, brother. All right. Danny is gone. George Burns says Mark McNair. Yep. Kabuki was in. Vorpal was in. We had a Henry Youngman. That's all right. Let's see. Gracie. Yes. Gracie Allen. Very nice. Great guest. Yeah. Dan, I would love to do some kind of little, like, I don't know, call it Saturday Night Follies or something and do a show with Dan. Because I think we could just riff. It'd be like jazz. We could just go. That guy is like a musical genius. He's studied under all these famous percussionists. So, and I don't know that world, but yep, awesome. How long have we been on? An hour 10. We'll go about 10 more minutes. If anybody's got any questions, throw them in. I just wanted to mainly come on and say, yeah, I've been on vacation. Now we got a bunch of family here in town. I haven't been getting much gameplay going. So you won't see any reviews for a while. And I'm going to be honest with you. I know this is probably way different from most channels. For me, the show is the fun. The gaming is the fun. I never feel over pressure to put out content. I had somebody say, Chief, you got to get 2 shows a week or at least something. And I'm like, I would love to, but I don't ever feel the pressure. Just like when Judd's ready, I would love to do more ham tags with Judd. I love doing these interviews. Man, I love meeting these people and these old time CEOs, but like Tom Shaw and stuff. I shouldn't say old time. These guys that were there when the gaming, the wargaming was kind of in its burgeoning stage. Here's a question. What happened to your razor? Did it break halfway through? Yeah, I'm trying this goatee. I like these different looks. I've always been clean cut, and then I was in the Army, and then I was always in the military or something, or police, and they're allowing this, so I'm trying it. I shaved the beard. I didn't like the beard so much anymore. And I don't know. I can't stand the stash, but so we may get rid of it soon. No, you're a rock star. There we go. We'll see. We'll see what happens with it. But I like trying things that are different. One of my good stories, it was funny because I go undercover back in like 2004. And I grow out this big beard, long goatee. I've got hair back then kind of coming around. And it was funny because now I was married and everything. So it wasn't like I was hitting on anybody. But it was just funny because I was coming through I was headed into court. And now I'm going to court, I think, to testify or to meet with a judge or something, but there's people coming and going from court that have probably had more of a checkered past. But this gal who looked like she'd probably rode, and nothing against riding Harleys, but she had like leather skin and just was rough. And I was her type of man. And she literally growled at me. She's like, oh, I like that. I like you. And I got a little scared inside. So I was like, what's going on? I forgot that I looked like her counterpart. And again, nothing against the leathery skin or I think she was wearing black leather chaps. She literally rode a motorcycle into court. But I had to remember, because I literally forgot that I looked like I had probably ridden a trike into court. She growled at me. I'm not kidding. Then I had the reverse. I had parked in the parking garage and I was coming down from the top. This is like a whole nother day. I was coming down from the top area, and it's a typical kind of scary, parking garage elevator, but it stops at a mid-level floor. The doors open. A very professionally dressed, well-dressed, attractive woman is starting to move forward as the doors open to get onto the elevator. Let's not forget I'm 6'6", 250. She sees me, and her whole body stops. Her brain stops herself from entering into what I could only imagine her brain was saying, a rape elevator. And I was looking at her like, what's she doing? And then she said something like, I'm waiting on someone. And she stopped and let the doors close. And then I realized, I look like I would attack this woman. But again, I would forget what I looked like it was an effective persona, but it was not my persona, which is fun in its own right. There's a whole psychology thing going on with being undercover. But it was funny because back in my younger days, I don't know, she might have been an attorney or something. I don't know. This, again, I was married, so there's nothing but, I mean, I might have asked this woman out, but instead I'm a life and limb danger that her mom said, don't get on the elevator, don't get on the elevator. And she stopped herself. But, yeah, I remember thinking, man. And so when I left undercover, I shaved everything. And, well, actually, my wife said, get rid of don't leave the mustache. And I said, it's my facial hair. And she said, don't leave the mustache. So I left it for 3 months and I hated it. It looked terrible. I do not look good with just a mustache. My face is too long. All right. So, Barton, I wish you could I could tell you my great cop stories sometime. I'll see you at WBC and you can share them or something. Kabuki she growled at me. She literally did. And it was like, ooh, it was like a reversal and I wouldn't have gotten on the elevator with her. Let's see. Tell us again how all these relatives back to your broken razor relates back to your, I don't know. It probably doesn't. How it relates to my broken razor, the facial hair. And when I was undercover, I had this full beard. Although Bruno, my partner on the street, and my cohort on the Scotch side says sometimes I'll tell a story so long that I forget what started it, and he's right. And I've coined a phrase called a track back. So I'll track back and figure out how I ended up in an elevator and scaring women. And then everybody laughs at that. You can't forget what you look like. We can't. Oh, you're so kind, Vorp. All right. I think we're good in an hour 16. We've had Danny Boy on. We've just done a Chiefs chat, Chiefs vlog back from vacation. So I wanted to let everybody know again one more time. It may be a few weeks. I mean, if I can line up another interview, we'll get another show in. But it's kind of taking care of stuff around the house too. You know, when it's hot, that's when I do all my special projects. So, all right, I will let you guys go. Thanks for joining me for the Chiefs vlog. See you guys.